Your dog knows when you decide to come home. There's peer-reviewed research, and it has crazy implications for religion. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm a deep skeptic, also a pastor. This guy, Rupert Sheldrake, has a PhD from Cambridge, was a professor there and at Harvard, and his research is fascinating. All right, let me tell you about the experiment. It was published in the Journal of the Society for Psychological Research. What he did was he had owners of dogs drive and go somewhere at least 5 miles away. And then at some point, and this was a while ago, so he gave them each a beeper. For those of you who are too young to know what a beeper is, it was basically like a text message. You would wear it on your belt, but it was just like a handful of numbers that would appear, and you would have codes like 180 would mean I love you and stuff like that. And after a long time and different amounts of time, he beeped them and told them to come home. But they didn't come home in their car because you didn't want the car to signal, the sound of the car to signal to the dog that they were home. But having them come home via a taxi actually didn't end up mattering at all because the actual results are wild. So they set up cameras, obviously, to film the dogs with, a time code and all that stuff that you can know exactly when it happened and all of that. And what was surprising is that when they sent the page to the beeper to tell the person to come home, as soon as that person got that page and decided to come home, that's when the dogs responded. When they got the page, about 50% of the dogs immediately got up and began looking for their owner in the place that they normally meet their owner. They went and got there. And here's what's wild. The dogs that had this connection with their owner, several times the owner had something like a flat tire or a boss that called them and said, oh, I actually need you to come back to work, in between when they got the page and when they were home. And when their plans changed, at that moment, the dog lost interest and went back to whatever it was doing. So it wasn't when the dog thought they were there. It was a connection between the person and the dog. Whenever their thoughts turned to coming home, that's when the dog responded. But the way science works is other people will repeat your tests, other researchers, other super smarty pants people. And when they did, they got the same results. Now, some of them suggested different conclusions, but it was the same result. But the implications of this are massive because it means that humans and dogs in this research had connections that spanned an enormous amount of space and was instantaneous. And I'm a deep skeptic, and that means that I am constantly looking for reliable data to help form my beliefs about the world. And this is exactly that. Because spiritual people will make some of the same observations. They'll talk about thinking about a friend and then calling that friend, and the friend says, oh, I was just thinking of you, or I was walking up to the phone, and the conversation they have is exactly what that person needed to hear. And the spiritual people will talk about it in terms of God or the universe or however they describe it, giving them the ability to connect to a higher reality or connect with other people in this beautiful way, giving them a way of knowing at a deep level that doesn't really make sense in the normal concepts of space and time. And I don't know if this is God or the universe or whatever, but this points to the fact that there is a deeper reality, a deeper ability that people have and are able to access that is beyond space and time. And that is fascinating.